Hello, sleepy thinkers, and welcome to Sleepy Science Teller. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. As you settle in, perhaps already lying down with a blanket tucked around you, let us gently drift into thought about something vast and almost unimaginable. Tonight, we will softly explore what lies beyond the observable universe. The skies above us are filled with countless stars, galaxies, and wonders, yet everything we see is bound by the horizon of light. Beyond that horizon, there may be infinite mysteries forever just out of reach. Together, we'll float through these ideas, calmly and slowly, allowing the science to soothe our minds as we rest. Before we begin our journey, I would love to know where in the world you are listening from. Could you gently write in the comments your current location and the time right now? It always amazes me to think of so many dreamers from so many places all listening together. And if you enjoy our calm discoveries together, please consider softly tapping the like button and subscribing to this channel. It helps me bring you more quiet explorations. Each night, close your eyes and imagine yourself floating far above the earth. The blue oceans fade beneath you. The soft clouds scatter like gentle brushstrokes, and the stars slowly emerge, one by one, against the blackness of space. From this vantage point, you might wonder, how far does it all go? How far do the stars stretch? How many galaxies lie beyond the ones we see? And perhaps most intriguing, is there an edge? Astronomers have a phrase, a quiet, technical phrase, but one that holds a deep mystery. They call it the observable universe. The observable universe is the portion of all that exists that we can, in principle, see. It is not a wall or a border or a sharp edge where existence stops. It is instead a horizon, a kind of cosmic shoreline, defined not by walls, but by light. You see, when we gaze into the night sky, we are not only looking into distance, we are also looking into time. Every twinkling star, every glowing nebula, every shimmering galaxy sends its light across unimaginable stretches of space. That light travels patiently across millions or even billions of years until finally it reaches our eyes or the gentle lenses of a telescope on Earth. But light has a speed, fast, yes, the fastest thing in the cosmos, yet still finite. And because the universe has a beginning, roughly 13.8 billion years ago, there's a limit to how far that light can travel before it reaches us today. That limit defines the observable universe, a sphere of visibility stretching outward from us in every direction. If you could paint it in your mind, imagine Earth at the center of a glowing bubble, not because Earth is special, but because wherever you stand in the universe, you are at the center of your own observable sphere. This is not ego, but geometry. Every being on every world, in every galaxy, sees themselves at the center of their own observable horizon. Now, how large is this bubble? Astronomers tell us that the radius of the observable universe is about 46 billion light years, not 13.8 billion, as you might expect from the age of the cosmos, but larger because the universe has been expanding. Galaxies have drifted farther away, even as their ancient light has been traveling toward us. So the edge of what we can observe lies much farther than the simple age of the cosmos might suggest. This number, 46 billion light years, stretches imagination. To say billion is easy, but to feel it, to sense it, is another thing entirely. Consider this. If a beam of light were to leave Earth right now and travel outward at full speed, it would take 1 second to reach the moon 8 minutes to reach the sun, a little over 4 years to reach the nearest star. And yet, even at that breathtaking pace, it would need 46 billion years just to cross the radius of our observable bubble. The human mind cannot truly hold such distances. We reach for metaphors, for images, for stories to make sense of the scale. Some say that if the entire observable universe were shrunk down to the size of a globe you could hold in your hands, then the portion of space we've directly visited with astronauts, satellites, and probes would be smaller than the tiniest grain of dust resting on its surface. That thought is both humbling and strangely comforting. We are small. Yes, yet we are aware of our smallness. We are able to imagine, to measure, to stretch our thoughts across billions of light years. This capacity for wonder is itself a kind of vastness. And so, when we speak of the observable universe, we are really speaking about two things at once. On one hand, the literal sphere of space and time that we can see, and on the other hand, the boundary of human imagination, the place where our sight meets mystery. As you rest and breathe slowly, imagine drifting outward past the atmosphere, past the moon, past the sun and planets, floating beyond the stars, through clusters and swirls of galaxies. The further you drift, the further back in time you travel. Each step outward is a step deeper into the ancient past of the cosmos, until at last you reach the boundary, the shimmering horizon of the observable universe. Not a wall, but a veil of time, the furthest light we can see, whispering stories from almost the dawn of everything. And there, at that quiet edge, you might pause, not with fear, not with urgency, but with a soft acceptance. For beyond that horizon, though hidden, the universe continues, vast, eternal in its reach, inviting us to dream, even if we cannot see. Imagine again that you are floating within the great cosmic bubble. Earth is far behind you now, no longer even visible as a pale blue. Instead, you find yourself surrounded by galaxies, scattered like pearls across velvet space. Everywhere you look, glowing clusters of light, great spirals of stars, silent, yet speaking through their radiance. These galaxies and the space between them form part of the observable universe. But even as you gaze, you realize this is only a fraction of what truly exists. To understand the observable universe, we must think about beginnings. Long ago, about 13.8 billion years in the past, the universe began in a moment we call the Big Bang, not an explosion in the way a firework bursts in the night sky, but the rapid expansion of space itself, a swelling of the fabric of reality. In those earliest moments, everything was packed together, dense, hot, and filled with energy. As time flowed forward, space stretched, and light began its long journey outward. The photons, those tiny packets of light, have been traveling ever since, crossing the expanding sea of space, carrying with them whispers of the past. When we observe galaxies billions of light years away, we are not seeing them as they are now. We are seeing them as they were long ago. A galaxy we measure at 10 billion light years away is being seen as it looked 10 billion years in the past. Perhaps, in the present moment, that galaxy looks utterly different. Stars born, stars gone, new worlds formed, but we can only ever witness its younger face frozen in time. In this way, the observable universe is a kind of time machine, a living archive. Every layer of distance we look across is a deeper step into history. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a candle glowing in the distance. If you stand close, you see its flame as it dances in the present. But if you step far back, And imagine that light traveling through time. It becomes not a candle now, but the memory of a candle then. So too with galaxies. So too with the cosmos. Astronomers sometimes describe the observable universe as a cosmic horizon, much like standing on the shore of an endless ocean. You see water stretch until it meets the sky, but you know quietly that the ocean does not end there. It continues beyond your sight, into distances you cannot yet sail. And so, the observable universe is our shoreline, not the edge of all that exists, but the limit of what our eyes and our instruments can touch. Now, here is where things become both fascinating and strangely soothing because of the expansion of the universe. The galaxies near the horizon are not only far away in space, but also racing away in time. The further a galaxy is, the faster it appears to recede. At the very edges, these galaxies move away faster than light itself, not because they are breaking the cosmic speed limit, but because the very space between us is stretching, carrying them outward. This means that even as we look into the observable universe today, many of the galaxies we see are already beyond our reach forever. We catch their light from the past, but no future light will ever arrive. They are sailing beyond the horizon, carried away by the tide of expansion. There is something haunting in that thought, a kind of cosmic farewell, like watching a ship drift out to sea, its sails shrinking until they vanish. And yet, there's also beauty knowing that we witnessed it all, that its light touched us here on this tiny world. Let us return for a moment to Earth. Here we are, small beings, standing under a night sky. Looking up, we see only a handful of stars with our bare eyes, perhaps a few thousand, scattered like seeds of light. And yet, beyond those stars lies a galaxy, our own Milky Way, home to hundreds of billions of suns. And beyond that lie billions upon billions of galaxies more. The observable universe contains, according to our best estimates, about 2 trillion galaxies, 2 trillion vast cities of stars. And each galaxy, with its swirling arms and hidden worlds, is a universe of its own. It can be overwhelming. But let us breathe slowly and let the number wash over us. 2 trillion galaxies, within each billions of stars, and likely billions of planets. The richness, the diversity, the endless variety of cosmic forms is beyond what the mind can fully grasp. And yet, we carry this knowledge with quiet awe, like holding a seashell to your ear, hearing the whisper of the ocean inside. When we look into the night sky, we are holding the whisper of the universe itself. The observable universe is not empty. It is alive with motion, history, and story. From the faintest glow of distant galaxies to the gentle afterglow of the cosmic dawn, it is filled with messages from the past. Each photon that reaches us has traveled across unimaginable gulfs just to end its journey in our eyes. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. Every star you have ever seen, every galaxy ever captured by a telescope, sent its light across the darkness of space, sometimes for billions of years, before it reached you here. Now, you are, in this very moment, part of the story of the observable universe. For without eyes to see, without minds of wonder, the light would fall silently, unnoticed. But with us, the universe becomes aware of itself. Through our gaze, the cosmos looks back upon its own reflection. So, the observable universe is not just an outward horizon, it is also an inward one. It tells us not only what lies beyond, but also what lies within us. The capacity to wonder, the courage to imagine, the gentleness to accept mystery without needing to grasp it all. And as you drift now, listening softly, let this awareness soothe you. The universe is vast, yes, beyond measure, but it is also gentle, patient, unfolding slowly, like a flower opening across billions of years. And here you are, resting in its embrace, safe within the glow of its observable horizon. Close your eyes once more, and imagine the observable universe not as a chart or a diagram, but as something alive, something breathing softly around you. It is easy, when we hear numbers like billions and trillions, to feel lost in abstraction, but perhaps it helps, instead, to think of a universe in layers like the rings of a tree, each one holding a memory of time long past. The first layer is close, our solar system. The familiar warmth of the sun, the tiny bead of Mercury, the clouds of Venus, the blue oceans of Earth, and the giant gas worlds that circle farther out. This is the nearest ring, glowing bright, easy for us to imagine. Step outward, and the second layer arrives, the stars of our Milky Way galaxy, billions of suns, scattered across spiral arms like strands of pearls. Within this ring, new stars are born, old stars fade, and planets, perhaps like ours, turn silently around their suns. Beyond this lies the next layer, other galaxies, whole universes of stars, each with its own story. The Andromeda Galaxy, spiraling toward us, will one day embrace the Milky Way in a slow cosmic dance. Other galaxies drift away, their light stretched into faint whispers. Each one is part of the great tapestry that fills our observable sky. And still beyond lies layer after layer, clusters, superclusters, filaments of galaxies woven together like threads of cosmic silk, until finally we reach the faintest boundary, the outermost ring, the shimmering veil that marks the horizon of the observable universe. This layered vision helps us remember that we live in a story of expansion, of time, of depth. The observable universe is not a flat canvas, but a living archive written in light. Now, you might wonder, what would it feel like to approach that boundary? To drift toward the horizon, where the oldest light comes from. Astronomers tell us that at this edge, we see the afterglow of creation itself. The universe, still young, still hot, filled with a soft orange glow that is then stretched into microwaves. A light so faint, yet so universal, that it bathes the cosmos in quiet warmth. Reaching this boundary is like stepping into a cosmic museum, the walls painted not with human history, but with the history of all things. You would see not stars, but the universe before stars, not galaxies, but the cosmos before galaxies. A childlike universe, just beginning to cool, to form, to dream, and beyond that, here lies the gentle truth. We cannot see beyond the observable universe, not with eyes, not with telescopes, not with any signal of light. The horizon is drawn, not by distance, but by time, and so what lies past it is hidden forever. But this does not mean emptiness. In fact, science whispers the opposite. All evidence suggests that the universe continues outward and outward, farther than we could ever know. The galaxies do not stop at the horizon. The fabric of space does not fold there. Instead, it flows on, endlessly like an ocean without shore. When you stand by the sea and gaze toward the horizon, do you believe the water ends where your eyes fail? Of course not. You know it continues, stretching toward unseen lands. And so, too, with the observable universe. There is a sweetness in this mystery, a gentle reminder that some truths will always lie beyond us. And that is all right. We do not need to see the whole picture to find beauty in the part we hold. Let me share with you another image. Imagine a lantern glowing in the night. Its light spreads in all directions, forming a sphere of visibility. But beyond that sphere, there may be forests, rivers, mountains. You cannot see them in the lantern's glow. Yet you know, deep down, they are there. The observable universe is our lantern light. The cosmos continues beyond, vast and dark, but filled with possibilities. In a way, this limitation is a gift, for it invites us to wonder. It leaves room for imagination, for curiosity, for dreams that stretch beyond certainty. Science gives us the map of the visible, but mystery invites us to sail past its edges, in our thoughts, in our stories. And as you lie here now, perhaps ready for sleep, you too are a traveler at the edge of the known. Each thought you have, each dream that drifts into your mind, is a step into the unseen. Just as galaxies beyond the horizon remain forever hidden, so too the future of your own journey lies unseen, waiting quietly for you. The observable universe reminds us of two truths. First, that we are small, a fragile world, circling one star among billions, inside one galaxy among trillions. And yet second, that we are part of something immeasurably large. We carry within us the ability to ask, to imagine, to look upward and outward. In that sense, we are not small at all. So let the image of the observable universe rest gently in your mind. A sphere of light, 46 billion light years wide, surrounding you like a cosmic cradle. Inside it, galaxies shimmer, stars burn, planets turn silently. Outside it, mystery waits, endless, patient, eternal. Breathe slowly, and let the thought of that horizon calm you. Not a barrier, but a gentle veil, a reminder that even in the unknown, there is beauty, and that sometimes the most restful thing is not to answer every question, but to allow yourself to dream beyond it. Imagine for a moment a single beam of light. It leaves the surface of a star, glowing faintly in a distant galaxy. It begins its journey quietly, slipping into the great sea of space, and it travels tirelessly at the fastest speed allowed in the universe. That speed is what we call the speed of light, about 300,000 kilometers every single second. So fast that in just one heartbeat, light can circle the entire Earth 7 times. And yet, though this speed is breathtaking, it is not infinite. Light needs time to cross space. And this simple truth changes the way we see everything in the universe. When you gaze up at the moon, the pale silver glow you see left the moon a little over 1 second ago. You are looking into the past, even if only by the tiniest sliver of time. When you lift your eyes to the sun, its warmth on your skin, its brightness in your vision, you are not seeing the sun as it is now, but as it was 8 minutes earlier. If the sun would have vanished suddenly, we would not know for 8 full minutes, because light would still be crossing the gulf between our world and its glow. And when you turn your telescope toward the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, its light left more than 4 years ago. That star is 4 light years away, which means, in a sense, every time you look at it, you are receiving a message written 4 years in the past. This is the strange magic of the cosmos. The farther we look, the deeper into time we gaze. Every galaxy, every flicker of starlight, is an echo of what once was. It is like standing in a vast valley, surrounded by distant mountains. You shout into the air, and your voice bounces back as an echo. But each mountain sends your echo at a different time, depending on its distance. The closer peaks answer quickly. The faraway ones take longer. In the same way, the universe answers us with echoes of light, each one delayed, each one carrying the voice of history. And so, when we speak of the speed of light, we are not just talking about a number or a limit. We are speaking of the very thread that connects space and time together. Albert Einstein, with his gentle, brilliant mind, discovered that the speed of light is not just fast, it is fundamental. It is the cosmic speed limit, woven into the fabric of reality itself. Nothing, no matter how powerful, can move faster than light. And because of this, space and time are bound together into one great fabric. Space-time. Think of it this way. Imagine a river flowing gently. The current carries leaves downstream, and the speed of the current sets the pace. In the same way, the speed of light sets the pace of the cosmic river. Everything flows according to it. Space, time, matter, energy. Now let's pause for a moment and let your breathing fall into rhythm. Inhale slowly and exhale gently. As you do, imagine light traveling outward from you in all directions. Like ripples spreading on a pond, those ripples move at the speed of light, carrying the story of your presence outward into space. In this moment, tiny signals of your existence are leaving Earth, carried by radio waves, by photons, by the faintest touch of energy. Your voice, your breath, your very presence echoing outward into the night sky. And because light has a finite speed, it means that one day, far away, some distant being might receive your signal. Perhaps long after you are gone, your light will still be traveling, still whispering across the void. There is something strangely comforting in that thought, that in a universe so vast, each of us leaves behind ripples of light and time. The speed of light also sets the stage for the size of our observable universe. We can only see as far as light has had time to travel since the birth of the cosmos. This is why, even though the universe is 13.8 billion years old, the observable universe is so much larger, because space itself has been stretching, even as the light has been moving. So when we look outward, we are not simply measuring distance. We are measuring time, memory, history. Every telescope is not just a window to space. It is a time machine. Let me give you another image. Imagine sitting by a campfire, late at night. The embers glow, soft and red. Now imagine walking away from the fire, step by step, into the darkness. The further you go, the dimmer the glow becomes, until it is only a faint shimmer in the distance. Looking into the universe is something like that. Each step outward shows us not only fainter light, but older light, until finally we are seeing the first fires that ever burned in the cosmos. And so, the speed of light gives us a gift. It gives us the ability to look backward in time, to see the sun of 8 minutes ago, the star of 4 years ago, the galaxy of billions of years ago, and even at the furthest horizon, to see the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. Every time you look at the night sky, you are a time traveler. Your eyes are catching messages that began their journey long before you were born, perhaps even before Earth itself was formed. This is the quiet miracle of the speed of light. It is not only a limit, it is a bridge between the present and the past, between the here and the distant, between you and the universe itself. Let us drift a little further into the mystery of light and time. Imagine yourself standing on a quiet hilltop, far from the city, where the air is still and the sky above is clear. The stars seem countless, sprinkled like glowing dust across the velvet night. And as you gaze upward, you begin to realize you are not simply looking into space. You are looking back in time. That star shining faintly above you may have sent its light hundreds of years ago, long before you were born, perhaps before your grandparents or even your ancestors ever walked the earth. Some of the light in your eyes tonight began its journey when civilizations were just beginning, when ancient people were writing their first stories, carving their first symbols into stone. And if you look deeper with the aid of a telescope, you might find galaxies so distant their light began the journey billions of years ago, back when Earth itself was still young, when life was only single-celled, floating quietly in the oceans. Imagine that the light arriving in your eyes tonight began long before forests grew, before mountains were the shapes we know today, before even our sun had reached middle age. The speed of light means that every glance into the sky is a journey into history. The universe is not just above you, it is behind you in time, layer upon layer of history, stretched across the sky like the pages of an endless book. And in this book, you are both reader and participant. Every time you look outward, you are collecting pieces of the story. And every time you speak, move, or shine light yourself, you are adding to the next chapter. For your light, too, is traveling outward, carried into the future. Now, scientists often say that nothing in the universe can move faster than light. This is true, but there is more to the story, because the speed of light is not just a cosmic speed limit. It is also the thread that binds space and time together. Einstein's great insight was that space and time are not separate, but woven into one continuous fabric called space-time. And at the heart of this weaving sits the speed of light, always constant, always the same, no matter who is measuring it or how fast they are moving. This constancy has strange, dreamlike consequences. If you were to move very fast, close to the speed of light, time itself would seem to slow for you. Your heartbeat would stretch out, your thoughts would flow at a different rhythm, your clock would tick more slowly. Meanwhile, to someone watching from afar, you would appear to be moving normally, but they would age faster than you. This is not a trick of perspective. It is a real feature of the universe. Time bends and flexes, depending on your speed, and the anchor, the unchanging reference point, is always the speed of light. Imagine two twins. One stays on Earth, while the other boards a spacecraft and flies close to light speed out into the cosmos, then returns. For the traveling twin, time has passed more slowly, perhaps only a few years. But for the twin on Earth, decades may have gone by. They meet again, but no longer the same age. This is known as the twin paradox, and though it feels like a fable, it is grounded in the laws of relativity. The speed of light, then, does not only shape how far we can see, it shapes the very flow of time itself. Without it, the universe would be unbound, chaotic. With it, the cosmos gains structure, rhythm, and harmony. Let us pause here and imagine something tender. Every second, countless beams of light are leaving your world, from street lamps, from fires, from voices carried by radio signals, from the faint glow of the earth itself in infrared light. All of these photons are leaving at light speed, carrying the story of Earth into the cosmos. If there were observers far away, unimaginably distant, they would one day see our planet, not as it is, but as it was. Perhaps they would see the age of dinosaurs, the long reign of giant creatures. Perhaps they would see the first cities, the rise of civilization. Perhaps one day, long in the future, they will see you, sitting quietly under a night sky, gazing upward, dreaming. It means that our world is constantly sending a diary of light into the universe, a record written not on paper, but in photons, and that diary stretches outward forever. Our past is preserved in those ripples, endlessly moving farther and farther away. There's a softness in knowing this, that even though we are small, even though our lives are brief, we leave a trace that is larger than ourselves, a whisper of light carried endlessly into the great expanse. Now let's imagine a journey. You step into a spacecraft, sleek and silent, and begin to accelerate. At first, you are moving faster than airplanes, faster than rockets, then faster still until the stars themselves begin to shift. The light from ahead of you compresses, turning blue and bright. The light from behind stretches, turning red and faint. This is what happens as you near the speed of light. The universe bends around your motion. Inside your ship, time flows gently, seconds tick as they always do. But outside, years are passing. You are a traveler, carried not only through space, but through time itself. And as you dream in your ship, the universe outside ages like a story turning pages too quickly to follow. This thought experiment reminds us of something simple, yet profound, that the speed of light is not just about distance. It is about how we experience reality itself. Our past, our future, the rhythm of our moments are all tied quietly to this constant. As you lie back, breathing softly, let that thought cradle you. Your heart beats to the rhythm of time, and time itself flows according to the steady, unwavering pace of light. Every sunrise, every moonrise, every moment of your life unfolds beneath that cosmic clock. And so, the speed of light is not cold or distant or abstract. It is intimate. It shapes every instant you have ever lived, and every instant yet to come. It is the quiet heartbeat of the universe itself. Let us continue, softly, as though drifting through a dream. When we think of the speed of light, we often imagine it as simply a number about 300,000 kilometers per second. So vast, so fast, that it feels almost infinite. And yet, in the scale of the cosmos, even this speed has its limits. And those limits shape everything we know, everything we can see, everything we can hope to measure. Consider this thought. The universe is nearly 14 billion years old. And in that time, light has had only those 14 billion years to travel. That means there's a horizon to our vision, a cosmic edge, beyond which we cannot see, not because the universe ends there, but because light has not had the time to reach us yet. This horizon, this observable edge, is defined not by distance, but by time. It is as though the universe itself is wrapped in a gentle veil, reminding us that all knowledge, all discovery, all exploration must respect the patient pace of light. But the story of light and time is not only about what we cannot see. It is also about what we can. Every photograph of a galaxy, every spectrum of a star, every signal from a distant probe is a gift carried faithfully by light across unimaginable expanses. We are, in a sense, beings who live in a sea of photons. Every color we see, every detail we perceive, every scientific discovery we make about the heavens comes to us because light has been on a journey. Sometimes those journeys are short and intimate, the glow of a candle traveling only a few feet to reach your eyes. Sometimes they are long and patient, the light of a quasar traveling billions of years across a restless universe, only to end its voyage in the lenses of our telescopes. In each case, the story is the same. Light carries history. Light carries truth. Light carries the rhythm of time itself. And so, when scientists point powerful telescopes at the sky, they are not just collecting images, they are opening time capsules. Each photon is a messenger, carried with it the conditions of the universe at the moment it was released. Some photons tell us about the burning cores of stars. Others whisper galaxies colliding, spiraling together in slow dances across eons. Still others bring us the faint echo of the Big Bang itself, a signal older than any galaxy, any star, any planet. In this way, light becomes our most faithful guide. It shows us not only what is here, but what was, and it allows us, piece by piece, to reconstruct the great story of existence. Now, let us dream deeper into the connection between light and our human lives. Think of time not as a cold ticking of a clock, but as a gentle river, a river that flows for each of us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, and yet the shape of this river is always defined by the speed of light. It is the bank, the edge, the invisible guide of the current when astronauts orbit Earth. Traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour, they experience just the faintest slowing of time, their seconds stretch ever so slightly longer than ours. It is not much, but it is real, measurable proof that the speed of light holds sway over even the tiniest details of our lives. Now, imagine if we could travel faster, much faster. Imagine a ship accelerating to near light speed, leaving Earth and venturing into the depths of interstellar space. For those aboard, time would slow. Perhaps they would journey for a few short years. But on Earth, decades, even centuries, might have passed. It is a haunting thought that speed, motion, and light itself could carry us into the future. That time travel, in a certain sense, is not just science fiction, but a natural feature of relativity. And yet, there is something comforting in this idea, too. It tells us that time is flexible, that the universe itself has a softness, a bend, a rhythm that is not absolute. The cosmos is not rigid, not unforgiving, but pliable, shaped by the dance of energy, matter, and light. Let us pause once more and picture a quiet scene. You lie in a meadow at night. The air is cool, the grass soft beneath you, the stars vast above. Each star is shining, each one a lighthouse in the dark. But you know now that you are not looking at them as they are. You are looking at them as they were. Some are as they were decades ago, some centuries ago, some billions of years ago, long before our world was even born. And yet, despite the distances, despite the passage of time, the light has reached you, softly, gently, carrying across the universe just to meet your eyes. It is as if the cosmos itself has written you a letter sealed long ago and delivered only now in this moment. You are not only a dreamer beneath the stars, you're the final destination of ancient journeys of light. And so, when we ask what lies beyond the observable universe, we must remember that our vision, our knowledge, our questions are all shaped by this bond between speed, light, and time. The edge of our observable universe is not an end, but simply the current limit of light's patient travel. Beyond that edge, mysteries remain hidden, waiting. And perhaps one day, new methods, new insights will allow us to glimpse farther still. Until then, we rest in the beauty of what we can see. The glow of galaxies, the echo of the Big Bang, the stories written in starlight, each one reminding us that the speed of light is not just a measure of velocity. It is the guardian of memory, the sculptor of time, the bridge between what was and what is. So tonight, as you close your eyes and drift gently into sleep, remember that you're surrounded by light's embrace. Every star above you, Every photon entering your eyes, every moment of your life, is woven into a greater tapestry of space and time. A tapestry that stretches across the universe, held together by the quiet constancy of light. And as your breathing slows and your thoughts grow softer, you might imagine yourself floating on that tapestry, carried effortlessly by its rhythm, light flowing around you, time flowing through you, the cosmos whispering its story in every heartbeat. This is the gift of the universe, that even in its vastness, even in its mystery, it cradles us gently in the flow of light and time. Take a slow breath, let it drift outward, and imagine for a moment that the universe itself is breathing too, expanding, stretching, reaching ever wider with each passing moment. When we look into the night sky, we see countless stars and galaxies scattered across a black canvas. But this still image hides a truth far more astonishing. The universe is not static, it is in motion. The galaxies are not fixed in their places. They are drifting apart, carried by a cosmic tide that began long ago. This expansion of the universe is one of the most profound discoveries in science, and it began, as many great stories do, with curiosity and wonder. In the early 20th century, astronomers turned their telescopes toward the heavens and began to notice something strange. The light from distant galaxies appeared stretched. Its colors shifted toward the red end of the spectrum. This redshift meant that the galaxies were moving away from us, not just one or two galaxies, but nearly all of them, and the farther away a galaxy was, the faster it seemed to be receding. At first, this was almost unbelievable. For centuries, humans had assumed the universe was eternal and unchanging. But here was evidence that the cosmos itself was alive with motion, not only expanding, but doing so everywhere, in every direction. To understand this, scientists began using an image that has since become famous. Picture a balloon. On the surface of the balloon are tiny dots, representing galaxies. As the balloon is inflated, the dots move farther apart from one another, not because the dots themselves are moving, but because the surface beneath them is stretching. This is the expansion of the universe. Galaxies are not flying through space like rockets. Instead, space itself is expanding, carrying them apart. And so, the night sky becomes not just a map of stars, but a living reminder that the fabric of the universe is in motion. Now let us pause and think gently about what this means for us. If the universe is expanding now, then long ago, it must have been smaller. If we could roll time backward, the galaxies would appear closer and closer, until eventually they would all converge at a single, hot, dense beginning, the moment we call the Big Bang. This was not an explosion in space, but rather the expansion of space itself, a moment when time, space, matter, and energy all began their journey together, the seed from which all stars, planets, and living beings would eventually emerge. And so, when we say the universe is expanding, we are really acknowledging something far deeper. We are acknowledging that everything we know is part of a grand unfolding, a cosmic story that began nearly 14 billion years ago and is still being written with every passing second. Let us return now to that balloon analogy, for as helpful as it is, it also holds a gentle warning. Because just as node on the balloon surface is a center of expansion, so too, there is no center of the universe. Everywhere expands equally in all directions, which means that no matter where you are, the cosmos appears to be moving away from you. It is not that we are special, perched at the center of it all. It is that expansion itself has no single center. It is everywhere, nowhere, This idea can be dizzying, even unsettling, but let us soften it. Let us approach it like a lullaby. Imagine that you're floating on a vast ocean. No matter where you drift, the waves carry you outward. There is no single point of origin visible, only the endless motion of water all around. The universe is like that ocean, carrying galaxies outward on a tide that never rests. And so, cosmic expansion becomes a reminder that we are part of something vast, something alive, something still unfolding. It is not finished, not complete. It is breathing, growing, changing, in ways we are only beginning to understand. Now, let us imagine a more personal story. Think of the stars you see tonight. Each one seems fixed, shining quietly in its place. But in truth, the galaxy itself is in motion. The stars orbiting the galactic center, the galaxies drifting apart, the clusters stretching away from one another. We are like children sitting in a field of dandelions, unaware that the field itself is moving, carried by the wind. The universe holds us, moves us, and expands us, even as we sit still. This expansion also creates a limit, a horizon beyond which we can never see, because the galaxies are receding faster than the speed of light. Not because they are breaking cosmic laws, but because space itself is stretching so quickly. Those galaxies are, in a sense, slipping away from us forever, lost beyond a horizon we cannot cross. And yet, even this is a kind of beauty, for it means that the universe is larger than we can ever measure, greater than we can ever hold, richer than we can ever imagine. As you rest here listening, let this idea sink in like a soft tide. The universe is not small, not closed, not static. It is a living expanse, stretching outward, a cosmic breath that carries us all. And so, when you gaze upward at night, remember, you are not simply seeing stars and galaxies. You are witnessing a living process, still in motion. The story of expansion, a story that began long before you and will continue long after. Let us return softly to the great image of the balloon. The tiny dots spread farther apart as the surface stretches outward. This picture has carried us far in our imagination, but now let us look closer, for the real universe is even more wondrous than any simple analogy. When astronomers first measured this expansion, they realized something profound. The farther away a galaxy is, the faster it appears to be receding. This relationship, known as Hubble's law, is like a cosmic rhythm, each galaxy moving in tune with distance, as though space itself is humming with motion. Pause for a moment and picture it gently. Imagine standing in a forest of glowing lanterns, each one drifting slowly away from you. The closest lanterns move gently, almost imperceptibly. The ones farther away drift faster, and the most distant ones seem to vanish into the horizon. This is a universe in expansion, every point of light following the same melody. Now, this discovery carried with it a beautiful consequence. If we know how fast galaxies are moving apart, we can trace the story backward, like a film in reverse. And when we do, we find that all galaxies, all stars, all matter and energy once rested together in an unimaginably small, dense state. A beginning, the moment we call the Big Bang. It is humbling to imagine that everything we see around us, every mountain, every ocean, every breath of air, all of it once belonged to a single, radiant seed of creation. And in its expansion, that seed has blossomed into the cosmos we know today. But the story does not end here. For scientists once believed that this expansion might eventually slow, that the pull of gravity, gathering galaxies like a patient hand, might one day halt the stretching of space, perhaps even reverse it, drawing everything back together in a grand collapse, a big crunch. Yet, when astronomers looked deeper into the heavens with sharper telescopes and more sensitive instruments, they found something surprising. The expansion of the universe is not slowing down, it is speeding up. This acceleration, mysterious and haunting, is driven by something we call dark energy, a name that carries more mystery than explanation, for we do not yet know what it is, only that it acts as a kind of cosmic push, urging the universe to expand faster and faster. Imagine again the balloon. At first, you blow gently and the dots spread slowly, but then something unseen takes over, and the balloon begins to inflate more quickly, the surface stretching with a strange and restless energy. This is a universe we inhabit, not merely expanding, but accelerating. Let us soften this idea and bring it closer to heart. Think of a meadow in springtime, where flowers bloom not just steadily, but in sudden bursts. The expansion of the universe is like that, not a slow drift, but a surprising flourish, carrying galaxies farther apart than we once believed possible. Now, let us consider what this means for the distant future. If the expansion continues to accelerate, galaxies will drift farther and farther until one day their light will no longer reach us. Future observers, living in a far-off epoch, might look to the sky and see only their own galaxy, surrounded by darkness. The universe's grand story, visible to us now, may be hidden from their view. It is almost like living in a fleeting window of cosmic history, a window where the expansion still allows us to glimpse billions of galaxies, still allows us to piece together the story of the Big Bang. We are fortunate, in this delicate moment, to be witnesses to such a vast horizon, a horizon that future beings may not see. And yet, there is something tender in this thought. It reminds us that knowledge itself is a gift of timing, that just as flowers bloom in their season, so, too, discoveries bloom in ours. And perhaps, just perhaps, there are other seasons of discovery yet to come, in ways we cannot yet imagine. Now, let us imagine what expansion looks like, not in equations, but in feeling. Picture yourself holding a handful of tiny seeds. With time, they begin to drift outward, carried by the wind, at first slowly, then faster, until the air is filled with motion. Each seed is like a galaxy, each breeze like the stretching of space itself. And you, watching quietly, are like the observer, seeing the pattern unfold. This is the cosmic expansion, a gentle scattering of galaxies across the endless sky. Not chaotic, not random, but patterned rhythmic, bound by laws both mysterious and elegant. Even here, within our own Milky Way, the story of expansion whispers. Though our galaxy and its nearest neighbors are bound together by gravity, and will one day merge into a great cosmic city of stars. Beyond this local gathering, the greater tide carries everything farther and farther apart, a reminder that we live not in isolation, but in a dance between gravity and expansion, closeness and separation, gathering and scattering. As you rest, let these images flow like a dream, galaxies as lanterns drifting in a forest, seeds scattering in the wind, the universe breathing outward, endlessly. Cosmic expansion is not simply a scientific concept. It is poetry written across the stars, a rhythm that touches not only the vastness of galaxies, but the quiet wonder of the human heart. Let us drift once more into the quiet truth of an expanding universe. The expansion of the cosmos is not something we feel directly in our daily lives. Here on Earth, the pull of gravity holds us close. The ground beneath our feet, the mountains rising above, the ocean spreading wide, they do not drift apart with the universe's expansion. Even our solar system remains bound, the sun's gravity holding the planets in their graceful orbits. Expansion lives on scales far larger than these. It is only across the spaces between galaxies and the still greater gulfs between galaxy clusters that the stretching of the universe becomes visible. It is as though the fabric of reality itself is gently unfolding, not tearing, not breaking, but widening. A widening that continues patiently, without pause. And what a wonder it is to realize that every second, space is being born anew. Every moment, more distance exists than before. The cosmos itself is growing, not into something, not into emptiness, but into itself, like a flower unfolding petal by petal, revealing more of its beauty with every passing instant. Now, let us think of how this discovery came to us, not through sudden revelation, but through the patience of observation. Astronomers peered into the night, measured the faintest details of starlight, and found patterns hidden within. They saw the redshift, the gentle stretching of light. They mapped galaxies, their distances and velocities, and realized the truth. The universe was not fixed, but dynamic. In this, there is a lesson for us too, that great truths often arrive not in thunder or lightning, but in small signals, a shift of color, a subtle clue, a patient pattern emerging from the quiet sky. The expansion of the universe was whispered to us by light itself, and only when we listened closely did we hear the song. And what is this song? It is the music of creation, a rhythm that began with the Big Bang, that continues with every moment, every star, every galaxy drifting farther apart. A melody that carries across billions of years and will continue long after us. Let us now imagine the future. Billions of years from now, galaxies will drift so far apart that many will vanish from view. The night sky, once filled with countless lights, may grow darker, lonelier. Future beings may gaze upward and see only the stars of their own galaxy, unaware of the vast universe beyond. They may not know, as we do, that the cosmos was once filled with galaxies shining from every direction. And yet, even this future holds beauty, for it reminds us that knowledge is precious and temporary, like a flower that blooms in its season. We, in our age, are given the gift of seeing the universe wide and open, filled with galaxies, filled with evidence of its beginning. We live in a golden era of cosmic discovery, a moment when expansion itself is visible to us. Now, think gently of your own life within this vast picture. Your days may feel small compared to billions of years, and yet you too are part of the expansion. Every breath you take is carried on the same fabric of space-time that stretches the galaxies apart. Every heartbeat unfolds in a universe that is growing larger with each moment. There is something comforting in this thought, that no matter how far the cosmos expands, no matter how vast it becomes, you remain within it, not separate, not distant, but woven into the very fabric of its unfolding. Picture, once more, the lanterns drifting in the forest. The farther they are, the faster they recede. And yet, you stand in the center, watching, held in the beauty of the motion. The forest may spread, the lanterns may drift, but the wonder remains. So too with the universe. Though it expands without end, the beauty of its story remains, for as long as there are eyes to see and hearts to dream. And perhaps, just perhaps, this expansion is not only a scientific fact, but also a gentle invitation, an invitation to expand our own understanding, our own compassion, our own sense of wonder. For if the universe itself is ever widening, then maybe we too are called to widen our hearts, to stretch our imaginations, to grow ever outward in curiosity and kindness. So tonight, as you lie quietly and listen, let yourself feel that expansion, not as something cold or distant, but as something warm, alive, ever present. The galaxies drifting apart like glowing petals, the universe breathing outward like a cosmic sigh. And within it all, you, resting softly, part of the same great unfolding. The expansion of the universe is not frightening. It is not a loss, not a vanishing. It is a gift, a reminder that the cosmos is alive, dynamic, always becoming something more. And as you breathe, as you drift, as your thoughts grow quiet, you are carried gently on that tide, forever part of the story. Let us return once more to the endless night sky, a sky so vast, so filled with mystery, that every star seems to whisper a secret. And tonight, our secret is this: the universe is not only expanding, it is expanding faster and faster, as though something unseen, something quiet and powerful, is pushing it apart. This unseen force has been given a name. We call it dark energy. And though the name sounds heavy, even shadowy, it is not something to fear. Instead, it is like a gentle breath, an invisible current woven into the fabric of space itself. The story of dark energy begins not with certainty, but with surprise. For many years, astronomers believed the expansion of the universe was slowing down. It seemed only natural, didn't it? Galaxies are filled with stars. Stars are heavy, and gravity pulls. So surely the expansion should gradually weaken, as everything pulls inward with its invisible threads. But when scientists measured distant galaxies, when they studied the light from exploding stars known as supernovae, they saw something astonishing. Instead of slowing, the universe was accelerating. The galaxies were rushing away from each other faster and faster, as though some hidden force were driving them outward. This discovery, made in the late 1990s, shook the foundations of cosmology. It was as if we had been walking down a familiar road, certain of where it led, only to find that the path suddenly curved into an unknown horizon. Dark energy became the name for this mysterious cause. We do not yet know its nature or its essence, but we can see its fingerprints everywhere. It makes up nearly 70% of the entire cosmos. 7 parts out of 10, invisible, intangible, yet shaping the fate of everything. Pause for a moment and imagine this: the stars above you, the earth beneath your feet, the entire Milky Way galaxy. All of this, all of us, are just a fraction of what the universe truly is. The familiar matter we touch, the light we see, the planets and suns we dream about together, they make up less than 5% of the total. The rest is dark matter, unseen and dark energy, mysterious. It is humbling, is it not? To realize that we live within a universe that is mostly unknown, and yet, somehow, we belong to it. So what, then, is dark energy? Some imagine it as a property of space itself, a quiet pressure that fills every corner, every gap, every widening void. Others think of it as a field, like the invisible wind of physics, flowing through the cosmos. Some even connect it to the ancient idea of Einstein's cosmological constant, a number he once introduced to keep the universe stable, only to abandon it later. And now, strangely, it has returned not as an error, but as a clue. Let us imagine dark energy more gently. Think of the universe as a great ocean. Galaxies are like tiny boats, drifting on the waves. At first, gravity seemed to be the tide that pulled them together, keeping them from drifting too far. But then came the discovery. The tide was not pulling them back at all. Instead, a deeper current was pushing them apart, ever outward. This current is dark energy, unseen, unheard, yet steady, vast, unstoppable. And as the galaxies drift, something else happens. There comes a point, far out in the future, where the expansion will carry them so far away that their light will never reach us. Even if we waited forever, their glow would fade beyond a cosmic horizon. Like lanterns drifting too far into the mist, their light will vanish from view. This is the future horizon, the boundary beyond which we cannot see, not because the galaxies do not exist, but because the expansion carries them faster than light itself can cross the growing distance. Pause here and breathe gently. There is a softness to this thought, even though it sounds immense. The universe is stretching, and with it, the horizon of what we can see is gently receding. Every day, a little more of the cosmos slips beyond our reach, not through destruction, but through distance. And yet, this is not loss. For in this moment, we still see them, billions of galaxies scattered like jewels across the night sky, visible to us in this precious age of observation. It is as though the universe has granted us a window, a brief chance to glimpse its immensity before it grows too far. Dark energy, then, is not only a scientific puzzle, it is also a gentle reminder of impermanence, that nothing remains forever in sight, that horizons shift, that even the stars may one day drift away. And yet, in knowing this, our wonder deepens. For we are alive here, now, in a moment when the universe is wide open before us, when the future horizon has not yet closed. We are the witnesses of the cosmos in its grandest form. So, tonight, let your mind float on this idea. An invisible current, a gentle tide, dark energy flowing to the fabric of space, carrying galaxies ever outward. And you, resting softly, are part of the same expansion, breathing within the great ocean of existence. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the universe not as distant galaxies in cold numbers, but as a living, breathing story. Every chapter is written in starlight. Every page is turned by time itself. And here, in this chapter, dark energy is a quiet hand moving the story forward. We may ask, softly, what is this force really? Scientists, dreamers, and thinkers across the world have offered different answers. Some believe dark energy is a cosmological constant, a simple, steady property of space. According to this idea, every cubic centimeter of the universe, no matter how empty it seems, carries a tiny amount of energy. Alone, each piece of space contributes almost nothing, but when stretched across the vastness of the cosmos, it becomes enough to drive galaxies apart. Others imagine dark energy as something more dynamic, a field that changes with time, perhaps stronger in some eras, weaker in others. This idea is sometimes called quintessence, a name that feels almost mystical, like an echo of ancient philosophy. If this is true, then dark energy is not constant at all, but a shifting, evolving presence, shaping the expansion in ways we cannot yet predict. Still others wonder if our understanding of gravity itself might be incomplete. Perhaps dark energy is not a thing, but a sign that our laws of physics need to be stretched, just as space is stretched, that what we see as acceleration might be the universe whispering. Your story is not yet finished. There are rules you have not discovered. Whatever the answer, the effect is the same. Galaxies are carried apart faster and faster, and the horizon of what we can see shrinks with every passing age. Now, let us look ahead. What does this acceleration mean for the future? There are many possibilities. each one like a dream of the cosmos. In one dream, the expansion continues forever, steady and endless. Galaxies drift apart, stars burn out, and over unimaginable timescales, the universe grows cold and quiet. This is called the heat death, or the big freeze. It is not violent, not sudden, but gentle, slow, inevitable, like a candle slowly dimming until the night is complete. In another dream, if dark energy grows stronger with time, the expansion could become wild, uncontrollable. Galaxies would fly apart so quickly that even stars, even planets, even atoms themselves would one day be torn asunder. This vision is called the Big Rip, a dramatic, almost terrifying thought, though it lies far beyond billions of years, far outside the reach of our own brief lives. And in yet another dream, dark energy may not last forever. It could weaken, fade, or transform into something else, allowing gravity to once again slow the expansion. Perhaps, in this vision, the universe might even reverse, collapsing back on itself in a fiery big crunch. A return to where it all began. Each of these futures is uncertain. We do not yet know which story will be written. And perhaps that is part of the beauty, that the universe still holds mysteries, still keeps its ending hidden, like a book whose final pages are sealed. Now, let us think of horizons again. The future horizon is not only a boundary of what we can see, but also of what we can know. As expansion quickens, more and more galaxies will slip beyond it. Someday, even the great clusters that now light the night will be invisible. A future observer may look up at the sky and see only their own galaxy, never knowing the universe was once so vast. And yet, you and I know this truth tonight. We are here in the moment when the universe is still open, still filled with light, still singing its story in every direction. We live in a privileged age, not because we control the cosmos, but because we witness it, because we can see the horizon still wide and the galaxies still within view. This, perhaps, is a quiet gift of dark energy. It humbles us by showing us how little we truly know, and it blesses us by reminding us that wonder is fleeting, precious, and meant to be cherished now. As you rest, think of yourself as lying at the edge of this great horizon. A small being, yes, but a knowing one. You carry within your mind the truth of billions of galaxies, of mysteries unseen, of futures yet unwritten. You are, in this moment, a witness of eternity. And though horizons may shift and galaxies may fade, the wonder you feel now will always belong to you. So let the thought of dark energy drift around you like a quiet tide, not something frightening, not something harsh, but a gentle presence, a reminder that the universe is still unfolding, still alive, still carrying its story into the infinite future. And you, softly, are part of it. The universe, as we have seen, is not static. It is alive with motion, expansion, and hidden forces. And at the center of this mystery lies dark energy, the quiet current guiding the cosmos toward its unknowable tomorrow. Let us pause for a moment and think of horizons again. There is a horizon you see when you stand by the sea, watching the water stretch into the distance. It seems to be the end, and yet you know that beyond it, the ocean continues. So, too, with the cosmic horizon. It marks not the edge of the universe, but the edge of what we can see, what light has had time to bring to us. Dark energy, with its accelerating push, is steadily moving that horizon closer, as galaxies slip quietly into the distance. One by one, their light fades from our sky, not because they vanish, but because the space between us grows too quickly for light to cross. This thought could seem sad, like lanterns drifting too far into the fog. But let us hold it more gently. It is not loss, but change. For the universe is not closing down, but opening into new chapters, new shapes, new destinies. Think now of how humans have always lived with horizons. The horizon of the sea once marked the edge of the known world. Travelers sailed into it, uncertain of what lay beyond. The horizon of the sky once held the mystery of flight, until wings lifted us above it, and the horizon of space itself once seemed unreachable, until we sent our machines, and then our own footsteps, across the stars. Every horizon that once seemed final became a threshold, and perhaps, though galaxies may slip beyond our sight, the mystery itself will always call us onward. For even if our eyes cannot reach, our imaginations can still wander, and wonder will always remain. Now, let us reflect on our place within this vastness. Dark energy makes up most of the universe, and yet we do not feel it directly. We cannot touch it. We cannot bottle it. We cannot see it shining. And still it shapes everything. It reminds us that much reality is unseen, unmeasured, and yet deeply real. Is this not also true in our lives? So much of what sustains us is invisible. The love we feel, the memories we hold, the dreams that carry us like dark energy. They are unseen forces guiding the expansion of our own lives, pushing us forward, opening horizons we cannot yet imagine. Let this bring you comfort tonight, that the universe itself is filled with hidden forces of growth and expansion, that even when we do not see the path ahead, there is a quiet energy carrying us onward. In the far, far future, the universe may grow colder, quieter, lonelier, but tonight here, now it is alive with light. Billions of galaxies shine upon us. We are surrounded by their glow, by their stories, by their patient messages carried across time. We are alive at a moment when the universe is most visible, most generous, most open to our gaze. And that is a blessing beyond measure. So as you rest, imagine the horizon before you. Not an end, but an opening. Not a wall, but a window. The horizon is not where the universe stops, but where our vision pauses, waiting for wonder to continue the journey. Dark energy ensures that the cosmos will always have more mystery than answers, more distance than light can travel, more tomorrow than today. And within that truth lies a deep peace. For if everything were known, the story would be finished. But with mystery alive, the story is still being written, even now, even as you breathe. So let your thoughts drift softly, beyond the galaxies, beyond the horizon, into the quiet unknown. Feel the calm of acceptance, that you do not need to see it all or know it all to belong within it. You are part of this grand unfolding, a note in the cosmic song, a spark of awareness within the infinite tide. Dark energy whispers that the future is vast and open and beyond our reach. But it also whispers that this moment, this breath, this night is precious. For you are here, aware, awake to the wonder of existence, even as your eyelids grow heavy. The universe expands, the horizon drifts, and you gently drift too into rest, into peace, into the quiet embrace of the cosmos. Close your eyes and let the idea of the unknown drift softly into your thoughts. We have traveled far together, through galaxies, through expansion, through horizons, and now we arrive at a simple truth. For all that we have discovered, the universe remains mostly unknown. Think of what we already know. The stars, the galaxies, the cosmic microwave background, the dance of dark energy. And yet, each answer we find seems only to open more questions. It is as if the universe is an endless library. Every time we pull a book from the shelf and read it, we discover that behind it lies another and another, stretching without end. This might feel overwhelming. To know that no matter how hard we try, no matter how much we explore, there will always be more beyond reach. But let us instead see it as comforting. For the unknown is not a wall, but horizon. It is a promise that the story is never finished, that curiosity will never run dry, that wonder will always be alive. Even now, think of the questions that remain unanswered. What is dark matter? What lies beyond our observable universe? Did our cosmos emerge from one big bang? Or are there cycles repeating eternally? Are there other universes, invisible to us, existing like parallel melodies beyond our hearing? Or is ours alone, a solitary song in the silence? Each question is like a lantern glowing in the night. We may never touch it, but we can follow its light, letting it guide us into deeper reflection. The wonder of the unknown is also deeply human. From the earliest times, people looked at the stars and asked, "What is out there?" They drew constellations, wove myths, told stories of gods, animals, and spirits walking among the heavens. They did not have telescopes, equations, or satellites, but they had imagination, and that was enough to light fires of curiosity that still burn within us today. And here we are thousands of years later, with powerful instruments, observatories perched on mountains, telescopes floating above the atmosphere, detectors that can sense the faintest signals from the birth of time itself. We are far more advanced, and yet the mystery remains. The unknown is as present as ever, perhaps even greater, for now we see how vast it truly is. Let us think of a simple image. Imagine you stand on a beach at night, waves curling at your feet. You hold a lantern, its light spilling softly over sand. That glow is your knowledge, the circle of things you understand. Beyond it, the darkness of the sea stretches endlessly. The more powerful your lantern becomes, the farther you can see. But no matter how bright it shines, there will always be darkness beyond. And yet, how beautiful that darkness is. Not frightening, not cruel, but inviting. It asks you to wonder, to dream, to rest in the knowledge that you will never run out of mysteries to explore. Science itself is built on this relationship. It thrives not because all is known, but because so much remains unknown. Every discovery leads to another question. Every answer opens a new path. The unknown is not a problem to be solved once and for all. It is a companion, walking with us through the ages. And just as the universe has its mysteries, so do we. Each of us carries unknowns within our own hearts. What paths will our lives take? What dreams will we pursue? What joys and sorrows will shape us? The unknown is not only cosmic, but personal. It whispers the quiet of your own life, asking you to step forward, gently, into what comes next. So tonight, as you rest, do not be troubled by what we do not know. Instead, let it soothe you. The unknown is vast, yes, but so too is the imagination that lives within you. And in that space between question and answer, mystery and discovery, wonder blooms like a star. The story of humanity is, in many ways, the story of living with the unknown. From the first time our ancestors gazed upward, watching the stars flicker like distant campfires, to the present moment where we look through telescopes that can see nearly to the beginning of time, the unknown has always been beside us. Long before equations and observatories, the unknown was woven into myth. The stars became hunters, lovers, animals, gods. The night sky was a canvas where imagination painted its stories. turning uncertainty into meaning. When thunder rolled across the mountains, it was not yet understood as electricity in the air. It was the voice of the gods. When the moon changed shape, growing and fading, it was a cycle of life, a rhythm of birth and rebirth. And though our explanations have changed, the feeling has not. Even now, when we speak of black holes, of dark energy, of the multiverse, we are still telling stories of the unknown. Our words are more scientific, but our wonder is the same. We still stand beneath the stars, still feel small and curious, still search for patterns, still ask questions without end. The unknown has always been a companion, not an enemy. It has guided explorers across oceans, led poets into new verses, driven thinkers to invent and discover. Without the unknown, there would be no journey, no progress, no spark of curiosity to light the way. Think of Galileo, pointing his telescope at the sky and seeing moons orbiting Jupiter. Before that, the heavens were thought to be perfect, unchanging, eternal. But with one small instrument, he revealed mysteries that transformed our understanding of the cosmos. And yet, even with this discovery, more questions arose. What else lies beyond? How vast is the universe? Where does it end? Every leap forward brings not closure, but greater mystery. And this is the gift of the unknown. It does not vanish when we discover. It grows, unfolds, deepens. It is as if the universe says to us, "Come closer, and I will show you more." Now, let's turn gently inward. The unknown is not only written in the stars, but also in our lives. We do not know what tomorrow holds, or where our journeys will take us. And while this can sometimes bring fear, it can also bring peace. For uncertainty allows possibility. The unknown means that new joys can arrive, new discoveries can be made, new paths can open before us. Imagine, once again, standing on the shore of a vast sea at night. You cannot see what lies beyond the horizon. Perhaps it is another land, perhaps an endless ocean. And though you cannot know, the mystery itself fills you with awe. Your lantern of knowledge lights only a small circle on the sand. But the dark beyond is not empty. It is full of promise. This is how the unknown feels when held gently. Not a threat, but an invitation. Not an end, but a beginning. The greatest scientists have often spoken with reverence about mystery. Albert Einstein once said that the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. And he was right. For without mystery, beauty fades. Without the unknown, wonder withers. But with it, life remains a journey, a story still unfolding. Think now of yourself here, listening softly as night surrounds you. You too carry mysteries within you. Questions about who you are, who you will become, what dreams you will follow. And just as with the universe, these unknowns are not meant to frighten you, but to guide you forward. You are an explorer too, sailing across your own horizon, discovering little by little the hidden wonders within. So let the thought of the unknown soothe you. It means there is always more to see, more to learn, more to dream. It means your story, like the universe's, is still being written. And as you rest tonight, you rest not in finality, but in possibility. You are surrounded by mysteries, wrapped gently in wonder, carried forward by curiosity. As we come to the final stretch of our journey tonight, let us pause and breathe. The universe, vast and unending, holds more mysteries than we can ever imagine. And yet, somehow, in the middle of all that infinity, you are here, resting, listening, dreaming. We began by looking outward into the observable universe. The galaxies, the light, the distances, We spoke of horizons, of cosmic expansion, of dark energy, and the limits of what we can see. And through it all, one truth has softly emerged, that the unknown is not a barrier, but a gift. The wonder of the unknown is that it always beckons us gently forward. No matter how much we learn, there is always more. Every new discovery is a doorway to another mystery. Every answer opens a way to new questions. And this cycle never ends, like the rise and fall of waves, or the endless turning of the stars above. Picture yourself once more, standing beneath a star-filled sky. The air is cool, the night is quiet, and the heavens stretch endlessly above you. You see constellations, galaxies, the faint band of the Milky Way. But beyond what your eyes can capture, there are countless more stars, countless more worlds, countless more secrets hidden in the dark. The unknown is not empty. It is overflowed with possibility, with beauty, with dreams yet to be dreamed. And so it is with life. When we embrace uncertainty, we open the door to wonder. When we rest in mystery, we find peace. And when we drift gently into sleep, we carry with us the comforting thought that tomorrow, like the universe, holds more than we can ever imagine. Let's take a quiet moment now to be thankful for the unknown, for the mysteries that keep us curious, for the questions that guide us forward, for the horizons we may never reach, yet continue to walk toward. The unknown reminds us that life is always unfolding, always becoming, always offering something new. Even the greatest thinkers, after lifetimes of study, have finished their journeys with more questions than answers, and yet they did not despair. Instead, they were humbled, awed, comforted, for to live surrounded by mystery is to live in beauty. And now, as your eyes grow heavy and your breath grows slow, you too can rest in that same comfort. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to solve every question tonight. You are part of a universe that is vast, eternal, and endlessly mysterious. And that in itself is enough. So let the unknown hold you gently, like the dark sky wrapping around the earth, like the ocean embracing its hidden depths, like dreams waiting just beyond the edge of waking. And as you drift now toward rest, may you carry with you the peace of mystery, the joy of curiosity, the quiet wonder of the stars. Good night, dear listener. Good night, dreamer among the galaxies. May your sleep be deep. May your dreams be kind. May your heart be light. Until we meet again in another discovery under another sky. Good night and goodbye.